Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines. US President Donald Trump has reiterated that the US needs Greenland and that Denmark cannot be relied upon to protect the island, even as he said that something will work out with respect to the future governance of the Danish overseas territory. The remarks, which came after a high-stakes meeting between US, Danish and Greenlandic officials, indicate that there are still fundamental, if not intractable, differences between how Washington, Copenhagen and Nuuk see the political future of the island. Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron says French soldiers are already deployed in Greenland, with more forces to follow. Speaking to the armed forces, Macron said reinforcements would arrive by land, air and sea. On the other hand, Poland said it would not send troops. Prime Minister Donald Tusk warned that any attack by one NATO country on another would be, in his words, the end of the world as we know it. US President Donald Trump's administration is suspending processing for immigrant visas for applicants from 75 countries as part of Washington's intensifying immigration crackdown. A State Department spokesperson said the pause, which will impact applicants from Latin American countries, including Brazil, Colombia and Uruguay, Balkan countries such as Bosnia and Albania, South Asian countries, Pakistan and Bangladesh, and those from many nations in Africa, the Middle East and the Caribbean, will begin on January 21st. Meanwhile, Pakistan has expressed optimism that the United States will soon restore visas for Pakistani citizens. During his weekly briefing, the Foreign Office spokesperson said Pakistan has taken note of reports regarding possible US sanctions and visa restrictions. He stated that the Foreign Office is in direct contact with officials from the United States to seek clarity on the matter. The spokesperson said that US authorities have informed Pakistan that Washington is currently reviewing its visa policy. The Foreign Office spokesperson has also categorically rejected what he termed baseless allegations by the Indian Army chief regarding the existence of terrorist camps in Pakistan. The Indian Army chief had claimed that at least 6 terror camps remain active along the line of control and 2 along the international border, despite India's May 2025 strikes carried out under the so-called Operation Sindoor. Islamabad described the claims as cliched, habitual and somewhat delusional. Pakistan, Saudi Arabia and Turkey have prepared a draft defence agreement after months of talks. Minister for Defence Production Raza Hayat Harraj said the draft has been shared by all 3 countries, but still needs final consensus. Turkey's foreign minister confirmed discussions are underway, adding no agreement has yet been signed. US President Donald Trump has said that Iranian opposition figure Reza Pahlavi seems very nice, but expressed uncertainty over whether Pahlavi would be able to muster support within Iran to eventually take over. In an exclusive Reuters interview in the Oval Office, Trump said there is a chance Iran's clerical government could collapse, blamed Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky for the stalemate in negotiations with Russia over the war in Ukraine, and dismissed Republican criticism of a Justice Department probe of Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. On the other hand, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has said that there is no plan by Iran to hang people when asked about the anti-government protests in the Middle Eastern nation. He told Fox News in an interview that there is no plan for hanging at all. Hanging is out of the question. Meanwhile, Trump says that killings in Iran's crackdown on nationwide protests are subsiding, and he believed there was no plan for large-scale executions of protesters, as analysts and diplomats warned of possible risks from a US military intervention. The United States has warned Cuba against interfering with a planned humanitarian aid shipment, with a senior State Department official saying President Donald Trump could take action if the delivery is disrupted. The warning comes as Washington prepares to send $3 million in aid after Hurricane Melissa, a move Cuba has criticized as politically motivated, but says it will still accept. The United States has seized another Venezuela-linked oil tanker in the Caribbean, ahead of a scheduled meeting between President Donald Trump and Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado. U.S. forces apprehended the motor tanker Veronica in a pre-dawn operation, saying it was operating in defiance of Trump's quarantine on sanctioned vessels. The seizure marks the sixth such vessel intercepted in recent weeks, part of Washington's push to enforce sanctions on Venezuelan oil shipments. Russia says any Western troops deployed to Ukraine under a future peace deal would be considered legitimate targets. The Foreign Ministry said such deployments are unacceptable to Moscow, with spokeswoman Maria Zakharova accusing Britain of pushing the idea in draft proposals to undermine the peace process. Criticising the so-called Nightfall project, she said Britain's plan to help Ukraine develop a new ballistic missile is not a step toward peace. Saudi Arabia has announced a slew of development projects across southern Yemen worth about $500 million, many in areas long held by the United Arab Emirates and allied separatists who were rooted in a Saudi-backed offensive this month. Saudi Defense Minister Khalid bin Salman met with the head of the internationally recognized government and several members of the country's Presidential Leadership Council to affirm the kingdom's support. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.